our today's agenda, that is Linux fundamentals. So this is basically a prerequisite for the shell scripting course. So many of the people who are attending shell scripting, they don't have enough background on Linux or Unix. So they'll run couple of commands day in day out, but they are not very comfortable in Unix and Linux. So we'll cover those right from basic commands up to some advanced concepts like file system and soft links, hard links, etc. And we'll also see some installation of package commands like yum and apt-get. Okay, so this is the brief agenda. So we'll start with introduction of Unix, little bit on history of Unix, what are the Linux distributions currently in the market. We'll look into the architecture of Linux. Then we'll start with the commands. We'll see how you get authenticated when you log on to Unix or Linux server. We'll go through the command structure. So basically the difference here is in Windows we use GUI, and when you look at any Unix or Linux user, he is not very comfortable with using GUI. He always relies on the commands. So that is a basic difference. So as we go along, you will realize that. File and directory related commands, then file permissions, file system structure, file system architecture. So we'll go into deep dive into basically what is the internal structure of a file system. Then we'll create a file system using some commands and try to mount it. Then links, we'll cover what is meant by hard link, what is meant by soft link. We'll cover some basic networking commands which you will use in your day-to-day lives. Then we'll see what is the IO redirection and piping. And lastly, we'll compare Linux with Windows. So what are the advantages of using Linux over Windows? Okay, to start with, Unix is a multi-user, multitasking operating system, which means that multiple users are working at a time and sharing and contending for the same resource. So what it means is multiple users, they can have multiple tasks running on the system at the same time. And when you use a single CPU system or a multi-CPU system, as you know that at any given time, the CPU executes only one instruction. So that is why that statement, that it is contending for the same resources. So resources are only one if you look at single CPU system, but multiple users are using it. So it's on a time sharing basis. Then you can have multiple users logged into the system simultaneously and each running many programs. So it is essentially the same thing what we discussed. OS calls each running program a process, each having a unique identification. So internally, Unix will identify or Linux will identify each process by a unique identification number, which is called UID, or which is called as a PID, process identification number. Now it is kernel's job to keep each process and user separate and to regulate access to system hardware, including CPU, memory, disk, and other IOs. So kernel is basically the heart of any operating system. Same in Windows or same in any other operating system. So it does two tasks. One is it enables you, it is a layer between you and the hardware. So hardware consists of CPU, memory, IO devices, and it enables you to use those devices. That is one. Second thing is, in case of multi-user systems, you are given what is called as an address space in the operating system area, and this is essentially required to keep user 1, say there are two users, user 1 and user 2, user 1 programs isolated from user 2. This is essential from the security point of view. So this task is also done by kernel. Then kernel's third job is basically running the tasks on a priority. So it assigns certain priorities to the tasks, the jobs running on a system. And as you know that the tasks are getting executed one by one. So kernel on its own decides the priority, which